Hi, John.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for being here.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we have our first guest, which is just so exciting. I wanted to introduce John. He is one of my best friends. I met him through his wife, who's one of my best friends as well, and he just came into my life and became such a big brother and impacted me, and you are such a spiritual leader in my life, and your testimony has definitely impacted my life, and we're excited that other people are going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I haven't heard it yet. I don't know anything about your story.
yeah, maybe if you wanted to introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay. I'm John Burke. I'm a father of 2 and 1 on the way. My wife is Kelsey Burke. She is amazing. I'm the leadership team for C3 Edmonton. I run men's ministry. That's kind of my right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we can jump right into it. To start, I'm curious if you can just paint us a landscape, paint us a picture of what faith and religion looked like in your childhood.
Mm-hmm. Great question. So I grew up in the church. My dad is a pastor. He's an ordained minister with the Nazarene Church. He's actually one of he's an elder in the church, and he currently pastors 2 churches, one in Edmonton and one in Westlock. We grew up, my dad was going to Bible college. Well, my mom and dad were both going to Bible college in Winnipeg. So we kind of grew up around that environment until I was about 10, I believe. And then, my whole childhood was kind of around the church. Some amazing things from that and some really not amazing things. I think a lot of people, if you're around the church long enough, you will probably gain some church hurt. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly normal part of the walk because we are people. But there's always that saying, with PKs, pastors' kids, it's you either become a saint or you become the devil. Mm-hmm. And I was the devil. I was good at hiding it, I think, for a long time, but I just got really sick of hypocrisy that I saw and experienced. We saw that. There's unfortunately with pastors' kids, it tends to be that there's a different standard within the church. So because of who my mom and dad were, my mom is she's very well known especially the Nazarene world for worship. She has a music degree. She has done lots of worship there. And then my dad is very well known for just who he is as a man and his knowledge and depth of knowledge. He has his master's in biblical theology, basically. So, but there's a different standard for us, and we all failed all the time. I just kind of through my childhood, I think probably when I was in my early teens, I was just this isn't it. This isn't it. I would say I never fully lost belief in Jesus. I think I always believed in Jesus, even when I was running the opposite way, but I just couldn't reconcile the fact that the church acted the way it did. Mm-hmm. And later in my life, I realized that wasn't actually the church; it was people. Yeah. And so people are broken, mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
So, can you go into more detail as to how you ran away from church?
Absolutely. I think as I grew up, I just started. I kind of hung out with everybody. Mm-hmm. I was kind of a jock. I was captain of the football team, and but then I hung out with all the drug dealers, the skater kids, and just everything. I just kind of fit into everywhere, a chameleon myself. And I'd even go to the youth group because I could just put on a face for a couple hours, right. But then go party after. I could just
like a double life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so I just kind of kept on, you know, I have some amazing friends from that time, a few of them anyway still, but for the most part, I just got around different people and just wandered.
Yeah.
And that kind of came to a head when I was probably 17, 18, in that kind of realm. I lived in my parents, we moved to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, probably when I was like 12 or something like that. And that's a pretty rough town. It's small, but it's like, it's a prison town. Like there's a bunch of different prisons, federal max penitentiaries, and women and men.
Yeah.
It's like the economy in a lot of ways is kind of that. And so you get a lot of broken families because their parents are in jail, or you get the people who are just working at the jail, and that's not the easiest career either. You're seeing a lot of things all the time. So yeah, it's just it's an interesting town. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
There's actually, for the size of it, there's like lots of gangs and all that stuff going on. Okay. And so as I grew, I just kind of in my teen years, I kind of figured out I like to fight. I'm pretty good at it. And so I did that. And that's like kind of, you know, there's not a lot to do in PA. Right. There's really not a lot to do. So you like party and fight.
Right.
Is it like, what was the thrill of fighting? Is it like a power thing, or?
I think that's part of it is one of the big differences between men and women is that there is this like warrior part of who we are that is like trying to be pushed down, and unfortunately by the church a lot of the time. And like that's a lot of what I struggled with even in the church, is that we were always told to, like, you got to be a nice guy and all this. There's nothing wrong with being a nice person, but there's also this like warrior in you, especially as a man. Like it's part of how we're built. Like it's even like how we mature. Women mature faster than men. Like girls mature faster than boys. And part of that is like, I forget the part. There's a part in your brain that actually doesn't develop until you're like late 20s or 30s, and that's kind of the consequence part of your brain. So you'll do things without thinking of like the consequences of what could happen to you, and that's, you know, you need an 18-year-old that's rushing into a war zone to be able to like just listen and go. Where girls develop that at like 15. So it's just a different world. And you know, there's part of the church movement, especially in the West, is that we forgot that like God is a warrior. It actually says it's his name. It's one of his names. And so there's this like we're made in that image. Men and women so much are. I'm gonna start preaching.
Love it. You've got the mic.
Yeah. But men and women are both made in the image of God, but differently, because we can't have that fullness, right? We're just not able to fully carry that image. That's why marriage is such a beautiful thing, because marriage draws together the masculine image of God and the feminine image of God that comes together, and it makes a fuller picture.
Love that.
It's a beautiful thing. But when we're in the church, and we're only talking about lovey-dovey stuff, which is true. There's the truth of like the love of the Father. But there's also the righteousness and justice. And there's this fight that we're actually supposed to be, as boys, called to. And instead of getting called to a fight, we just get told not to have a fight. Right. That's not going to happen. Boys are naturally going to, like my little 3-year-old,
Yeah.
his, like, from the time he was 1, he was picking up things as swords. We don't watch weren't watching shows that had that.
Right.
It's like natural. It's like in them.
Yeah.
He was like pretending to shoot guns, and I'm like, I don't think he's ever even seen a gun get shot. Like where does that come from?
Right.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
There's this like natural part of it of like who they are. They're looking for a fight. But if you don't give them the direction of the fight to fight, they're gonna find one. And that was kind of my story in that is I was always looking for a fight. I just was never pointed in the direction of the actual fight. It's like, just point me in the direction. I'll do it. Like, I'll storm the hill. I have no problem with people judging me, or I don't care.
So you don't shy away from confrontation?
No.
Yeah.
0%.
Is that what was appealing about the military? Is just like facing things head on, conflicts?
Yeah, I think that in service, like, I think there's like a responsibility to serve and like to stand for something. And they do. And so I think I had a draw to that. I was also, when I was throughout my teen years, I was in like cadets. So I was like, kind of grew up around like military teaching and a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
So I just had a real respect for it. And I've loved, like, I played with G.I. Joes when I was 3. Like, that was my toy. And I would make little toy guns out of my bread.
Your bread?
My bread. Because my parents went through this time where, like, everyone was saying, like, you know, don't buy your kids, like, toy guns and stuff like that. And so they tried not to. And then I would literally make guns out of bread. So it was like, well, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's weird.
You'll find anything. Like, you go outside and you pick up a branch and that's your sword.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I was always, I think, always looking for the fight to fight. And it's like one of the most impactful books in my life that I read probably every year, for sure every 2 years, it's called Wild at Heart. And John Eldredge is an amazing author, and he really put to words what was in me that I didn't know what was in me. And so I went, and I didn't read that book until after I came back to faith. And then kind of read it, and I was like, oh, I was never broken.
Right.
Because I wanted to fight. It was like, just put me in the kingdom fight. Like, teach me the kingdom fight, and I will fight it. I'm okay with that. And so that was, I think, one of the big things within my early years of church was just like the like teaching just to be soft. And I'm like, you actually don't want men to be soft. That's not kind, good. Soft? No. You want them to be able to stand.
Yeah.
You want them to be able to fight for you. As a wife, you want your husband to be like able to take care of it.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
So good.
I'm not a woman, but I would just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want the whole like protector, provider. Yeah. I think that's also coming back around too. Like, I think there's like has been a big momentum swing of like, I don't want to say it, but like, I want to say it.
Just
but
say
like
it.
feminism, and just like it's really put men down and like
Emasculated.
yeah, and masculinity, and then now I think there's a huge pushback on that, and then the pendulum swinging in the other direction, of no, masculinity is good, and like as women we desire a masculine man.
That's true. Yeah.
yeah, there's like the feminine movement, I think started in as a good thing of like, hey, let's talk about like having rights and like that. Those are amazing.
Yeah.
And like, as a man, I will fight for that. I believe that. But we're not the same.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not supposed to be the same, and it's okay. And it's like, even the fact of like, one of the things that John Eldredge talks about in the book. We will get back to my story, but
That's okay. I'm okay with this.
I'm in charge of men's ministry, so this is kind of a passion of mine. But one of the things that it talks about is like when most people don't think about in the story of Adam and Eve when and where they were created. Mm-hmm. Adam was created in the wildness, not in the garden.
That I don't think I knew.
He was created in the wildness of the world, and then got told, master it. And then he was like, I'm a lost man, and I need companionship because it's not good for men to be alone. Mm-hmm. At all. I can attest to that. And so then they got put in the garden, and in the garden, Eve was made. Eve was made in the peace, heaven on earth. Man was made in the wildness. So there's a wildness to our heart that is, it's actually not a bad thing. And that's why there is like, when God created the world and made man, it was like, he's still God. He could have done everything by himself, but he didn't want to. And so he made this thing called a man to help master and control and move the world in the right direction. Right. And so, yeah, that's masculinity is like, it's this, yeah, it went down this path of like everything about masculinity was viewed as bad. And I do see a shift back to trying to find that, not even saying that it needs to go back to what it was, because I don't think it does. There was some, like, chauvinism is not good.
Yeah.
A man trying to say they are better than a woman is not good.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's not godly.
Mm-hmm.
But to try to say that we're the same, and that's kind of what really hindered me in the church when I was young, is that it was kind of like, without them necessarily saying it, what they wanted was us the boys to be girls.
In what way?
They wanted to kill the fight. They wanted to kill the roughhousing, even. Like, they wanted to kill that wildness of a man's heart. When and not in, like I said, it wasn't ever, in my experience, it was never like, you should be a girl. That's not what I'm saying. Right. But it was this lead that feminism came through and into the church and started influencing the church. It's one of the biggest problems that the church has had since the beginning, is that we are meant to influence the world, but the church, when it's not operating in that place, gets influenced by the world. Mm-hmm. The positions are wrong. And so there was a point where when feminism really was on the rise, like, it kind of took over. And so instead of saying, hey, we're part of this kingdom and there is a fight to be fought, and how do we train our boys to be men of God and warriors for the kingdom? And what does that look like? And teaching them about what the fight is. The message was, you need to be soft and you need to be the nice guy. And what does the nice guy look like? Well, he doesn't have a fight in him. He's always... And I was like, well, passive. I kind of like getting punched in the face sometimes. Well, that's weird. Like, I like to fight. I like, there's a certain like level of like competitiveship in that's not necessarily a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I will absolutely believe that kids, not just boys, but girls too, should be in some sort of martial arts when they're young, because it teaches them really good things, fundamentally. Yeah. Especially in the world that we're in, it's wild out there. So protect yourself. My daughter will absolutely be in jiu-jitsu, because daddy won't always be there. Right. Brother Judah won't always be there. Mm-hmm. And there's evil in the world, and she needs to be able to like fend it off a little bit, you know.
So what does fight for the kingdom look like?
Yeah, there's I think when some people think about that fight, they start thinking of like killing and war and that. Like that's the automatic image, but the fight is actually in promoting the gospel and walking that out. And when the world comes against the gospel, when the world comes against what we're supposed to represent, the fight is standing your ground. The fight is being willing to go out like the disciples did.
Yeah.
I think that there's a real, and that's a part of my story we'll get to in a bit, I think too, but it is different when you have a moment or moments where you go, I might actually die for my faith.
Yeah.
We don't really have that in North America.
Yeah.
We're blessed in so many ways.
Yeah.
We have a lot of freedom to just operate and be in our faith. The resistance is there, it's just different. Like we're not necessarily going to get shot.
Yeah.
It's mostly like Instagram, social media warriors, really, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we kind of, Canadians especially, we don't want to do anything that might make us not look nice.
Right. Yeah. People
And when the world is opposite of the kingdom, because it is,
right.
If you stand up and say, I actually don't agree with that. I don't agree with abortion. Not going to stand with it. I don't think it should be there, ever. You're going to get judged.
Yeah.
Right.
People will not like you.
Yeah.
And so there's a fight there that a lot of the fight has been taken out because there's this place of like, well, we're not supposed to. Is that loving? And we don't get taught from Proverbs like, yeah, it is. Like Proverbs is full of correction, and that correction is love.
Right.
God corrects us because he loves us.
Yeah.
And he wants us to get back on the path.
Yeah.
It's not that you're going to not make mistakes. It's that there's this correction, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we are part of that in the world.
So good.
In the same way, a father, like yourself, corrects the actions of your child. You don't do it because you're a big meanie. You do that because you love your children, and you want them to be, the healthiest they can be, and and disciplined, and you can't just let them do anything all willy-nilly. Like there is order even in like parenting, and I just relate that to, our God is a father, and he corrects us for our benefit.
Yeah.
Because his ways are a bit greater than our ways, and his thoughts are greater than our thoughts, and we don't always understand it, but we just have to trust that he knows best.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of these things I see more and more that there's like a correcting in the doctrine of a lot of churches. A lot of the church through, especially I think the 90s, early 2000s, that's when like the prosperity gospel was big, where it's like if you love God, then you're going to be rich, or if you tithe here, you're going to be you're going to be blessed with money, and everything's going to be good for you. That's not biblical.
Yeah.
Like read James once.
Yeah.
Read James 1. Like just James 1, and you will learn that's not it. Right? And so I think that there's this pushback of like, no. If we have friction with the world, that's actually a sign that we're probably on the right path. Right? There's actually
absolutely.
That's the fight.
Yeah.
And when you, I don't know how intense you guys want me to be, but like, whatever. when you castrate men, they won't do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They won't do it. They'll let things happen. They'll get addicted to video games and pornography, and they'll go try to find a win anywhere else. Because they don't know what it looks like to be a man of God anymore. What's that mean?
I want to dive into this so much more. I do. I also want to like jump back to Prince Albert.
Good.
And just to find out like where
This
where
will
you
loop
strayed.
back
It will
100 times.
It will, because I can tell it's like a passion of yours, and I think it's the calling of God on your heart. So yeah, take us back to Prince Albert.
Yeah.
It's a prison town. There's gangs there. What was the catalyst of you kind of like walking away?
Yeah. So there was a couple things. Again, just kind of getting lost without like thinking that I couldn't be a good Christian, because I wasn't like I wasn't like the typical nice guy. Like I was good. I would stand up for what is wrong. Most of the fights I got into were like someone was doing something wrong and I was defending. Like that's part of my heart. But it was like, I don't know, I just was like, okay, so I don't have this, so I'll just go down this other path of it slowly went down it, right? It's like start hanging out with all the kids that are just partying and doing drugs. And I never actually did drugs because I was like into football and stuff, and I just saw my brother go down that road, and I was like, I don't really feel like warping my brain like that. But I hung out with all those people, and so you just hang out with those people more and more, and then I graduated, and I just had no direction, no purpose, and it was kind of a weird season because my dad got promoted in his job, and it was pretty cool. He became the director of chaplaincy in all of Canada. So he was in charge of every chaplain in every prison in Canada.
Wow.
Huge. So it's a cool thing. But they moved to Ontario, and I was like, I'm not moving to Ontario. So I stayed, and then like my best friend, he moved. And in that time, it was actually this like weird place of like, I was holding on to some moral places in my life. And then I just let go. Like I lost my virginity when I was 18, and that like broke me actually.
Right.
Which was weird because I'm like, we're getting taught what the like men are supposed to just like whatever. And I'm like, well, that wasn't the plan, right? Like I still believed at that point, like because of how I grew up, I was like, I still believe that I should save that till marriage. And so then I got drunk and whatever. And it was like, then that broke me. And it's such a funny thing that something like that can just like spin everything out. And so then I started like helping people collect money and, intimidation and stuff like that for some really bad people that I knew and hung out with. And most people didn't know that. Like my parents didn't know that. Most of my like, good friends that like actually cared about me didn't know that. I kept it pretty silent. Like I wasn't like out there slinging drugs and like looking like a gangster. Right. But I was like, well, that's a way I can get some money. So I fully went down that path, and I was headed in like a really if I would have kept on going down that path, I would have probably been in jail or dead. And it would have just went further and further down that road, and I would have become a monster. Misplaced masculinity. Is that. Any of the men who you look at and you're like, that guy's an animal, it's misplaced masculinity, and they never came back from it.
That's such a good term. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just They don't know where to put it. And so I went down that path, and this kind of where the story starts to shift. Is I was like doing that and working stupid jobs and just whatever. And I got to a place where I hated myself. Because it's like I knew that wasn't who I was designed to be, and I didn't like the things. I knew that it wasn't right. But it was like quick fix, quick money, quick high from sex and whatever, partying and doing all that. But it was never like fulfilling. And so it was just like the further I went down that road, the further my soul was dying.
Right.
And I got to a place where I was like, I'm just done. And so I tried to commit suicide, and then I failed. And then that time I tried to like mix substances with alcohol, and then later when I just like, my body was like, nope, puked it out. I was like, okay, well, I can't do it that way. Later on, I remember I was in a basement. I was just living with, she's kind of like my second mom, actually. She's like my mom's best friend. She was in PA. She became a pastor at one of the prisons. And I was just lost. I was like, didn't know what to do, had no direction. And so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I like was writing a letter to my mom, just like apologizing. And I still have that letter, actually. It's really weird.
Wow.
But halfway through the letter, like my plan was I was literally gonna stab myself. Like I had the knife and I was just gonna fall on it.
Wow.
And that letter halfway through turned into I was writing this letter to God, and then I was like, if you're fucking real, you have 1 week. I just poured out to this thing that I was like, I don't even know anymore. I don't know if you're real. I don't know how you're real, if this is the reality and this is what I'm going through. And I just felt lost. And so I gave God 1 week, and the next day I got a phone call from a friend in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Like literally the next day. And I didn't put this together. But I got a call, and they're like, so we have a place for you to stay and we have a job for you. When can you get here?
Wow.
And I literally packed a bag, not even everything. I left my car behind.
Wow.
I bought a bus ticket, and I took a bus from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan to Medicine Hat, Alberta. Didn't say anything to anybody.
Wow.
This is before social media, so a lot of the people that I was dealing with just probably thought I died.
Wow.
I just left, and I went to Medicine Hat, and there is kind of where things started switching, because I just got around different people. Mm-hmm. A lot of my family was down in Medicine Hat. My grandparents on both sides were there. My older brother at that time really switched his life around. He went to YWAM and went through a lot of healing. And so he was there. And so I started hanging out with him, which was really kind of funny, because my brother was atrocious to me growing up. Like terrible. He was a terrible human. And he would say it too. But yeah, he was going through his YWAM stuff. He like phoned me one day, and he's like apologized to me, and I was like, you son of a bitch. Because at that point I was like, at this point I'm like full on fighter, like who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the next time I see him, I'm gonna kick his ass. I'm just gonna whoop him. And then he phones me randomly and apologizes. I'm like, well, now I can't kill you. That's awesome. But then, yeah, me and him really became close. And I don't even think at that point he knew well, I know he didn't. Nobody really knew the level of trouble I was into. But he just kind of like was chill with the journey. And I kind of started like going back to church here and there with like my grandma, because then we'd go have dinner after and stuff. And I was working a good job and making good money, and I just was in a peaceful place. And then one day, my brother is working at this church camp as staff, and he phones me and he says, "Hey, we're having a staff night, and there's going to be like food and games, and it's going to be fun." And in my head, I'm like, I like steak. We're in Alberta. And I like girls, and there's going to be girls there. And so that was the draw for me. He didn't even say the girl thing. I just was like, I just know how this works. I know what church camps are about. And so I go, and I'm like hanging out and whatever, and then it turns into like a church service with worship and stuff, and I'm sitting in the back, and part of me is like, you got me. You tricked me here. And then I heard a voice. And it told me that I was supposed to do a DTS. I was supposed to go to YWAM. And there was a YWAM base at that camp. Mm-hmm. And I was like, great, now I'm schizophrenic. I am hearing voices. Awesome. Because at this point, I'm like, I don't believe any of this stuff really.
Was it an audible voice?
My recollection is that it was audible.
Wow.
Yeah. That's at least how clear it was to me.
Wow.
And why I thought I was so insane. Because I was like, I just literally heard a voice out of there. Awesome. I'm freaking going insane. And so I was like, okay, if this is you, God, you got to do every effing thing. I'm not doing a thing. I have like this good job. I'm making good money. Like, I'm not worrying about anything anymore. I'm away from all these terrible people. Whatever. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going to a YWAM Bible thumper. Like, I'm not doing that. That's not me, you know? And if you know me now, that's really funny. But I just said no. And I'm not sure how long after that, but I remember my grandma basically like woke up in the middle of the night and was like, John needs to go to YWAM. And so she like started signing things up and talking to people at church to get funding. And then she talked to me, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
I just love how like relentless God was when he's just like, I told you directly, you didn't listen to me, so now I'm going to tell grandma here, because he's just pursuing you. Yeah.
And she's always been just like the steadfast prayer warrior in our family. I think that half the reason why I'm alive and my brother's alive, and both my brothers, is probably because of her prayers. Wow. And so I was like, okay, I'll go to this thing. And like, I wasn't prepared. I was not like in even the right mind space. I was like, I don't actually even understand what it is I'm going to. Right. But like, my brother was there. He was actually on staff at that time. And so he was staffing the school that I was coming to. And so I was like, I went. I remember the first day I show up, and it's like, I don't know, September. I don't know. It was fall, I think. And I remember the first day I showed up, there's like 60 or so people, I think, are in this room, and like in the DTS and other schools that were going on, I think. And like, if you don't know what YWAM is, I should, I guess, talk to people who might not know what that is. It's like a really intense, it's kind of like, well, YWAM as a whole, it's under University of the Nations, which is actually like a Bible school. So they actually have lots of different courses and things you can take. the DTS, it's called the Discipleship Training School. It's like a really intense, focused period of like really developing what discipleship looks like.
Okay.
So I show up, we're in like the Cypress Hills in the middle of nowhere, like an hour away from Medicine Hat. So there's nothing around us. We're on a ranch. And we're sitting in this room, and everyone's like kind of talking about their stories, and I'm like, everyone is like, they're good people. I'm like, I remember looking at my brother and being like, bro, I should not be here. Like, this is not where I should be. And he was like, it's all good, like, just chill. And like, there's a couple other people there that were really close with Matt from his discipleship training school and stuff like that, that kind of like were like, no, you're fine. But I was like sitting in this room, and people are like talking about their struggles, and I'm like, so you swore. Okay. Like, you had a beer. I'm like, I was drunk last night. Like, that's literally like the night before I went, I was hammered.
Right.
At a club doing stupid things. And I show up because I said I would. And like, that's part of who I am, is if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. So then I went on this journey of learning, but it's actually, I almost skipped over like a really crazy story.
Do tell.
So that was like the first day, and I come from a family of musicians. I play guitar and some drums, and I sing, and my brother's the same, and there's a bunch of people there. So we ended up, I think it was either that night or the night after, we're like, all like these musicians get together and we're just jamming. And so I'm like, okay, I'm about this. We're jamming, we're having fun. And that turns into like full worship service. Like the whole campus comes and they're worshiping. Now, I come from a fairly traditional Christian church. The Nazarene church is not like the spirit-filled type of church, speaking in tongues and stuff like that. That's not what happens. It's not that they're against it or don't think it's real. It's just that's not what they pursue. So I have never in my life seen any of that. And YWAM is fairly charismatic. And so we're sitting there and we're like playing music, and then all of a sudden people are like screaming and like waving flags and doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, you guys are weird, man. And then all of a sudden people are like falling over. And I'm like, do we need a doctor? Like, what just happened? Someone just, are they having seizures? Right. Like, what's going on? And by the end of it, everybody's on the ground. Everybody. No one's on playing music anymore. Everyone's like praying on the ground, crying, laughing, speaking in weird languages or whatever. It just sounds like gibberish to me. And I'm like, I am uncomfortable.
Were you the only one standing?
I was sitting on the one side of the room with a bongo. And I'm like kind of tapping still. Because I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm freaked out. And I was like, okay, so what do I do here? Yeah. Because I'm trapped. I don't like being trapped. Mm. So I'm like sitting here on the other side of the room. There's no door near me. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, okay, so if I walk across this thing, my true fear, I was like, if someone grabs my leg, I'm going to stomp them out. Like, I don't want to kill somebody. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And then I was like looking at the window. There's a window here. And I'm like, kind of like, okay, if I throw this bongo through that window, I think I can get around and get to my car and get out of here.
You were desperate for an escape.
I was like, this is messed up. And this lady, so in that first kind of, it's separated, our DTS was separated by weeks, and each week had a different focus. And the first week for us was like prayer and intercession. And so like where they teach and you practice things and you go through that whole developing that skill. So we had a team of prayer and intercessors who were there to teach us. And they're all in the room making people fall over. And I'm like, this is... And this lady comes up to me. She's an older lady. She comes up and she's like, can I pray for you? I'm like, go hard, lady. I'm like, whatever. I don't know what the heck's going on. And so she starts praying. I don't remember anything that she said. But then she touches my shoulder. And there's an angel in front of me.
Whoa. You can see it.
I see it. Yep.
What did it look like?
There wasn't like a lot of detail in it. I just remember it was like light. And like I couldn't see a detail in the face or anything like that. It was more of like a feeling. Like there was something there. It was a light being. And at first, like initial thing was like, so I was schizophrenic, now I'm seeing shit. Like I'm like, I am insane. And then I am literally just filled with peace.
Wow.
Like complete head to toe peace. And then I look at her and she goes, cool, eh?
Whoa.
And I was like, holy fuck.
Could she see it too? The angel?
I believe so. I didn't ask questions. I swore as loud as I could in this room. Probably scared all these little Christian kids. And I ran out the door.
Wow.
Over the crowd.
No one grabbed your leg?
No one grabbed my leg. And then I spent a little while just like walking around in the forest, kind of like just like processing and being like fully at peace with where I was at. And that kind of spurred on for the better part of 4 years of this journey of actually figuring out my faith. And I went through my DTS was really a time of breaking down the walls that I had, and misconceptions and things that I took on that actually weren't from God. And understanding, like, I hate the term because like deconstruction Christianity is garbage. Right. I think people that are just deconstructing to deconstruct are off their rocker. Because it's about community, it's about the church. But I really had to break down what I believed or what I thought I believed to find my faith.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that was really that time of that schooling portion. I remember like there were some of the speakers that were in my DTS that thought I was terrible because I would like question them in front of everybody. I'm like, it's bullshit. Like, in front of all these good Christian kids. I'm like, oh.
How long is this schooling?
So I don't remember the exact, because it's split. So there's a certain amount of schooling. I think it's like 3 or 4 months. But it's like really intense. Like you live there, you eat, everything is there. You don't leave.
Okay.
We would go in once a week to kind of go to church. And then we'd like go in vans. You feel like a Hutterite. You like go all together. And that's Hutterite. That's like Hutterite land. So we'd show up in these 15 passenger vans. But so yeah, it's really intense. And there's really no time in that where you're like away from developing your faith. There's no time. There's like the downtime, I guess, where you're like playing games and whatever. But even then, it like turns into worship services and turns into whatever. Yeah, it was amazing. And after that, so the second part of it, you have the schooling section, and then YWAM's focus is missions, right. Youth with a mission. So we went to the Philippines, and that was a shock for me, like a culture shock. We were like poor church kids, like growing up. We didn't have money. We didn't travel. Right. We go to the Philippines, and we go to a place called Davao City. I love the Philippines. It's like, I think most people, your first missions trip, there's a special place in your heart for that place.
That makes sense.
And like just like amazing people, also filled with atrocious things. Poverty is through the roof. And Devout City is like kind of like, there's a lot of conflict there. So there's like a Islamic movement that they're trying to take control there. There's a communist movement that's trying to take control of that area. And then there's the government, which is proclaimed Christian. Like they're very westernized, and it's a weird time because they like idolize you because you're white. It's really weird. Made me uncomfortable every day. But there's just like, it's really fractured and broken. And we lived in a place like our kind of headquarters was in like they called it the killing field of Davao, because it was like we were in the middle of the slums. And there's gangs and the government. Like if it's different than here, like if you were caught with weed there, they'd kill you.
Wow.
Like you'd get put on a list, and there's like actual, like this is not even like people can look it up. There's like, there was the basically the mayor of that place had a hit squad. And if you got put on the list, they wouldn't like kill you in the spot, but you got put on the list. And like we had people that we were friends with that died. Because they got put on the list. Didn't matter if they changed their life, they were on the list.
Wow.
It's wild.
Wild. And so yeah, I lived there for a while. Hung out with street kids, radically changed my heart. Went to orphanages, and it's like it's such a contrast. There's this dichotomy of like you're in this beautiful place with beautiful people, and you're surrounded by like evil. And we don't see a lot of demonic stuff here the same. You go to places like that, you see it. It's bold. Like we would see it. I have a story. Scare some people.
Give it to me.
Give it to me.
We had this one, we were like on this bus, and I don't remember where we were going or whatever, but we were on this bus. And like traffic in the field, they don't have lights. There's thousands and thousands of vehicles, millions driving around. There's no lights, there's no rules. They honk and click and stuff to move it. It's weird. It's stressful. But we're in this bus, and all the windows are down because it's hot. It's the Philippines. It's like 45 degrees, 300% humidity. Like it's just wild. And you're all sticky and touching each other. And so I'm like sitting looking out the window. And down the road, for some reason, there was this guy that just stood out to me. It was like, I just was like locked onto him. And he was there, and he was standing there. Like it was like a movie where everyone's moving and you're not paying attention to them, but there's one person and they're just stopped. So this guy was stopped, and we're just slowly headed towards him. He has a bike, and he just stopped. And so as we get closer and closer, it's like, man, there's something weird about this dude. And it's like, we kept on getting closer. I'm like, I feel like he's looking at me. Kept on getting closer. And like, as we passed him, it was like his eyes were locked in, and they were fully red.
Whoa. Like
no pupil, red. And we drove by, and I was like looking at him, and it was like his face kind of morphed, like kind of like, I wouldn't say he became a weird thing or anything, but it was just like distorted.
In some way.
And his eyes, I'll never forget, his eyes were like red. And I just remember like we drove by him and nothing happened. But then I like looked up, and there was like 2 or 3 other people that were like, "Did you see that guy?" So it was like not just me, it was other people that saw this, because it's so bold. There's lots of witchcraft and other stuff going on there.
Right.
And desperate people.
Yeah.
That's what they prey on. right? So it's like this like wild. It was a wild time, and
Freaky.
yeah,
I got like goosebumps
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's freaky.
it was a crazy time for sure. And then we were there for, again, I don't remember time frames, but we were quite a while. And then we came back, and that's a different thing too, because you come back. A lot of people coming back from YWAM have a lot of trouble because they don't understand that it's like you need to like, you're going from this like crazy intense period of time where you're only focused on God. Like that's it. Like you're not focused on a career or making money or doing nothing. To then the world and church, and a lot of people struggle with church when they get back because they come out of there and they're just hyped up and they want to do things and take control and whatever, and the world is moving at a different pace. And so a lot of people come back and they actually get like really disenfranchised pretty quick. So I went from the Philippines. I did a couple trips to the Philippines, and then I think I did three trips to the Philippines. And then I did the big one. Well, they're all big. One of the big things for me was when I did a missions trip to China. So after my one school, it was called Equipped, and it was a biblical leadership school. We sat down as a smaller team. There was only a handful of us in that school. And we were like praying about it. At that point, it's not like in your DTS, you're going to go where they've picked. You're going there. In that school, we really sat down and said, like, prayed for a while and said, where do we feel like God's leading us to go? And it was like, well, the Philippines is easy. We have so many connections there. We have 1,000 different places that we could go teach and all that stuff. But China. And we were like, but we don't know anybody there. We have no connections.
And in China, that's like, there's a lot of underground churches, because aren't Christians persecuted?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't bring a Bible
It is
there, right?
illegal.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to be Christian.
What would happen if you guys were caught?
Depending on the province. So, different provinces have it gets more or less strict, depending. If you're in like the south, like kind of Hong Kong, that area, it's a little bit more loose. Central gets more strict. And that was really, it was an intense time. The Philippines is amazing. Like, the people and just everything, the weather, like everything, it's really amazing. Yes, there's like the being confronted with the poverty and the hurt and some of that other stuff is real. China's different. It's a different animal. It's I remember, so we fly in, we go to, so we decide we're going to China. We were praying as a group and everybody was like, no, China's it. So we just kind of like used some, I don't know who it was, but somebody had some sort of connection to somebody. And so we flew in to a small city. It was like, I think like 10 million people or something. Like a small little tiny town.
Small for China.
In central China. So like Hunan province is like a really persecuted province. And so we fly into there and we get picked up at the airport. And the whole time you're going, do they know? I was like, it's really funny now looking back because I stuffed my backpack with Bibles, which is stupid for multiple reasons. One, they have Bibles.
Do they?
Oh yeah,
I didn't think they did. I thought they were just absolutely not allowed.
For a very long time, people have been funneling Bibles into the underground church in China. Wow. So they all have them. Okay. It's like, how do you stop drugs? Like, you can't. Right, okay. You know, like, it's just going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of like a stupid risk, because if they caught me, I would have went to jail probably. And China jail is not a jail you want to go to. No. Somehow I got through. They didn't check or care or something, but I got through. We get picked up to the airport. We go to this like English school, and that was kind of like our cover. We're like, we're here to teach English, because it was before the Olympics. So there was actually a push of like, China was like, we need people to know English. So they were promoting that at that time. So that's kind of how we got in, without having to have the cover, right? You have to go there for a job or something. But we just kind of showed up. And so we're in this school, and it was like a day or so after we got there, and we're like, so what do we do? We don't have any connections. The guy that's like has the school, he's not there. He's just like, it's just like a cover place that we get to use, but he's not there. And so I think we might have had one guy that was kind of there to translate for food or something. Like, it was not much. So we were like, well, I guess we go for a prayer walk. Like, what else do we do? Mm-hmm. So we like started just doing that. And we would walk down the street and just like be praying over the city. And it was such a weird thing, because really they're taught that like we're the devil. So like as a white person, they do not like you. Old people especially. I got spit at.
At a prayer walk, you're praying out loud, right?
Kinda. Yeah, most of it, like, they don't understand you.
Okay.
So that you can. And you're walking together, so a lot of times they'll just think that you're talking.
Okay.
But like sometimes you're praying just in your head or whatever. You're just like being in that, living in that place of prayer. Yeah. And that prayer walk changed everything for our trip, because we were walking down the street praying, and this little 20-year-old Asian girl ran up to us, and she's like, "We're the same." And I'm like, "No, we're not." Like, I don't know. I'm very big and white and hairy. Like, I don't know. like definitely not the same. And my skeptical brain, because I have like, we talk about it all the time. Like Kelsey, my wife, has like rose tinted glasses on. Like, she just views the world in this like beautiful, peaceful thing, and she's like, she's a natural evangelist, because she just sees everyone as like they're her best friend. Like, and she will treat you like that and become really good friends with you the moment you meet.
Lovely.
I have skepticals on. So I view the world as like with a certain level of skepticism. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is actually, and I lived a life where I saw those bad things. I did bad things. So like, that's my reality. Yeah. So she's talking to me, and she's like, "We're the same." And I'm like, "One, how do you know such good English? That's weird. We're in the middle of China. You're talking real good English. I don't trust that." It's just like this. Like, I don't trust it. And I'm like sussing out. I'm like, "Are you special police?" Because that's what they do. They try to like get you to admit that you're there to make Chinese. Basically, how they view it is like you're trying to make Chinese people believe in a Western religion, and that is illegal. And so, the only religion that's like allowed in China, kind of, it's still persecuted, but it's like Buddhism. Right. So that's why there's all the Buddhist temples still and all that stuff. But yeah, so she's like, we're the same, and you know, I'm like, "No, we're not." And we're like going back and forth, and she's like, "No, I'm a Christian." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, you're gonna come to my church. And we were like, "All right, Lord, we were asking for you to open doors, so we're just going to believe this is you, and if it's not, we'll deal with it, I guess. And so we told her where we lived, where we were staying, and she showed up that night, and she walked with us. So she's like 20 years old, and she was the pastor of an underground church.
Wow.
She got saved in university, and literally, like, one of the big differences between the West and people becoming Christians and out there is, like, if you make that decision there, you're all in.
Yeah.
So
it's so much more risky for them.
Yeah, you can forfeit your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, if you're going to be all in, you better just, what is spreading the gospel? Okay. But that's why there's, I think the last estimate that I saw was like, there's like 300 million Christians in the underground church in China. Mm-hmm. That's the whole United States.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, it's wild.
Wow.
And I think when I was there, it was like 150 or something million.
Wow.
So I'm like, that number doesn't comprehend. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But you start to understand it when you see how they respond to it. Because it's like they have this encounter with Jesus and go, he's real, and we're supposed to tell people about him. So that's what we're going to do. And they just live their life like that. Wow. And they go to jail for it and get killed for it.
Wow.
But that's the way they live, because that's what they're supposed to do. And they look at, when the Bible that they know and read, they go, all the apostles, they all died. So if we got to die, that's it. Mm-hmm. Kind of, that's like their mindset. Mm-hmm. And so it's like this, it's a wild thing when you're in that all of a sudden. And
what a good, how encouraging, because that is what the Bible says, of like, that's how we should be, go forth and make disciples. And in Acts where he says like Jesus' command is to be the light for the Gentiles and like bring salvation to the ends of the earth. Yep. Like that's what we're commanded to do. Yep. And like in Western society, we're very like,
we're pacified.
Yeah. And our faith is very like private, and we don't want to be pushy because we don't want to offend anybody. And they're just like, that's just so encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was crazy on so many levels. I don't necessarily have a big desire to ever go back to China for like a visit. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd go to the Philippines for vacation because mm-hmm. it's awesome and it's beautiful in the weather and all that stuff. Unless God is like, hey, you need to go back to China, I don't have a plan to go back there. Mm-hmm. But I learned so much about what it means to walk out this thing there. Mm. And so, so like that's the first day, like first couple days we meet. Her name's Lily. I have no contact with her because once she leaves, it's gone.
What does an underground church in China look like?
It depends. So some of them are like legitimately like they found a hill somewhere and went underground. Most of them are like in a house church. Mm-hmm. It's secret. That's the underground part of it. It's like, it's not like here where, every couple blocks there's a church building. Mm-hmm. It's just not it.
Do like neighbors tattle? Do they have to say, we're getting together and baking? Like, how do they not bring, that's really suspicious when there's like 30 people in one house every Wednesday night.
Well, typically what I saw a lot of the time is that because that person became Christian and how they operate in spreading the gospel, it kind of first spreads to the floor. Mm. Like, those are the people that start coming.
Okay.
And so, yes, it does happen though where people come in. And we had some moments where I was like, that's it.
With the China police?
Yeah.
Wow.
And nothing like to a place where I was like, it actually happened, but you go, oh, this is that time, So we started going to this church. I'll get to one of those stories here, but we went to our church, and we got into a room maybe half the size of this, and there's 60 people or something in there. It's just packed, and everyone's on the floor, and it's not like our church where there's worship and there's this like program. No, you get there, you sit on the floor, and you pray for 3 hours.
Wow.
And I've never felt the Spirit of God so heavy in my entire life.
Wow.
It was like a palpable, I felt like I was in a shower. Like it was like this, like, and it's winter, so it wasn't like it was hot. It's not like 60 people in a room in the Philippines and you're sweaty. You're going to feel wet. But there, it's not like that. They don't have the heating like we do, so it's winter, it's cold. 60 people in a room, and it feels like we're all just being soaked in the Spirit. And I think that's probably where I first spoke in tongues.
Cool. Tell me about that.
I don't really remember it. I actually didn't really remember. I don't have like a moment where I was like, oh, I spoke in tongues. All of a sudden it was like, I was like, I don't really do it. And they're like, yeah, you do. People were like, yeah, you do. I'm like, oh, I didn't really realize that. It was never like, I didn't necessarily, I would say I'm more like my dad in a way of like the way I actually operate with the Spirit a lot of the time in more of an intellectual way. And that's how he speaks to me through the Spirit. Because people want it to always look the exact same, and it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And that's why denominations start fighting and weird things happen, because it's like, we're not the same. Mm-hmm. And I feel the Spirit through the Word. He speaks to me through the Word.
Do you mean the Word as in the Bible?
Yeah.
So by reading your Bible, that's where you hear.
Yeah. And then I pray, and then I develop that. But it's not like, I've never had like this desire to like just like sit in the feelings of the Spirit. Mm-hmm. And I rolled my eyes there. I don't mean to. It's not like it's a bad thing. I think it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's moments where I've had that, and it's great. Yeah. But that's just not how I necessarily interact with the Spirit. Mm. And that's more like my dad. So yeah, but this is like probably, if I was to guess where it started, it was probably in one of those places. Because like, how can you not? Yeah. You're just like, and it's a bit different being in a room where everyone there is willing to die for their faith. Mm-hmm. That's just it's just different. Yeah. Because literally everybody in that room was like, we're in like one of the more persecuted provinces in China. Like if the police knock on the door, it is bad. And then we ended up having those church services like every day or two.
When you say they get together and just pray, is it like 60 people speaking out loud, all saying their own prayer? Is someone leading prayer? Does someone have a Bible and going over the gospel a little bit?
There's a little bit of that. So a lot of they'll usually read some of the Bible. You know, the places that I went, they would read some of the word. As soon as we were there, that one thing, because then what happens, which is really wild, because that's one of the big things that I'm trying to really focus on with my men's ministry in Edmonton here, is that it's not about it being from our church. The covering of the church is important. Like, being in submission is a biblical principle. You're not supposed to you're not just supposed to do things by yourself. You need to have a covering. And whether that's a church or like you just have spiritual mentors who you can check things off of, because we're humans. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get things wrong. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, right? So with C3, they're saying, okay, we're going to be with you on this journey, and my thing is like, that's great, I'm under submission, but it's not about C3. C3 is the church I went to. I don't know if I said that. I just realized people are going to listen to this.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like it's about Christian men coming together and reclaiming godly masculinity. That is what I'm called to in my ministry here. And so we have multiple churches represented because it's not about you coming to C3. This is about us men coming together, building ourselves as disciples of Jesus, and then going back to our community. If you are in a church and you're being fed and it's good and fruitful, stay there. I've literally told guys, they're like, maybe I should start coming to your church. And I go, no. They're like, what? And I'm like, I don't want to see you here Sunday. I want you to go back to your church and I want you to plug in. I want you to serve your church.
Yeah.
That's what we're called to.
Yeah.
So don't start coming to my church just because I'm here. You're already Christian. I want non-Christians here. Like, that's who I want. So, but that's one of the things that I learned in China, in the underground church. It's all connected. They're all connected. So we met Lily, and then we traveled all over China speaking at underground churches.
Wow.
And I remember having a conversation with her, and I was like, I feel so underqualified. Like, your guys' faith is so much more real than I've even had a chance to develop. And she said, well, we live in that because of like a necessity, but we don't have the depth of knowledge that you do. And she kind of made me aware of like the fact that I live with I grew up in a house, even if I wasn't pursuing, I grew up in a house where my dad is a theologian.
Yeah.
I grew up being around that. And so that just stuck to me. There's things that I know about the Bible because of just proximity. Like, it's just there. And so we end up coming into these churches, and we got to teach on what these things meant, and they would have questions for us, and we'd go back and forth and teach like a deeper place to it, because they go, faith, Bible, yeah, we're going to read the word, try to understand it. It's really weird. Yeah. We're Chinese. It's like translated into like this Western view of a Middle Eastern ancient Hebrew that doesn't translate. Like, it doesn't really, they don't understand it. Most of us don't understand the depth of that. We just read the book word for word, and then we go, oh, okay, well, I've read the Bible. It's like,
So
dig into it.
So they had like powerful faith without much of like the Bible knowledge. You're saying like with your upbringing, you had a lot of the Bible knowledge, but you're saying your faith didn't even compare to that.
Totally.
How do people find a happy balance between the two?
I think it's when Jesus talked about us as the body, and it's like the hand and the foot are together, even though they can do different things and operate differently. We are the same. We need each other. I need you as my sister. So you're my sister in Christ. Yeah. I need you. You do things and see things that I don't.
Yeah.
Kaylee sees things that I don't. We operate differently. So someone who is more charismatic, I'm not very charismatic. To some I might be, but for the most part I'm not. Like, I'm not. It's just not how I.
Compared to your wife.
Yeah, and I'm more. Yeah, But it's like we need places like that for the charismatic people, because that's how they're going to engage with the Spirit. I don't. I need more of like a place where I can like sit in it and have intellectual conversations, and I need a bigger churches. Like, there's the bigger churches in the city, like the Hope Cities and stuff like that. It's like those are 1,000-person churches or more. It's like that. They have amazing things there. The resources and the ability to have like a bigger reach and production and all of those things. That's amazing. But if I go there, I just don't feel any sort of connection to anything. I'm like, there's too many people. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
It's way too much for me to handle. So we need each other. That's basically what I'm saying, is that we need to have that view, and that's how the Chinese church works. And so how do you operate? You make a choice. It's all choice. Since Adam and Eve, everything that we do is a choice. You can either choose to be divisive and have a spirit of division, or you can choose to be a family. That's why Paul talks about division so much, and guarding our hearts, and being very aware of any sort of division within the church, because that's what takes us out. That's what's taken us out in the past, and that's what will continue to plague the church in the Western world, and until maybe we do need to have some shake-up. And I think that's what we're having culturally. Because the church has also always thrived when it is in stark opposition to the world. The Chinese church grows so much because it's illegal.
Yeah.
And what they talk about is different. They are told that they have to believe in atheism. And they go, nope.
Yeah.
So they're in stark contrast to what the world is forcing them to try to believe. And that becomes appealing.
Yeah.
In the world that we're living now, there's a lot of things that are happening that the world is trying to push on us. Whether that's like the division thing, liberal, conservative, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Guess what? Still not God. If you're liberal, you're conservative, and you're like, is that your God or is God your God? Because I don't care. Like, I'm going to vote. I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to get in a fight about it. That's stupid. And as a Christian, we're not supposed to do that. It's the love of God that makes us attractive. It's the way that we walk out persecution and hard times that's attractive. Our economy is crazy. Tariffs, blah, 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 fear. Okay. Who's my provider? Is the government my provider, or is God my provider? Who do you actually trust more? The church, the underground church, or any church that is in a place that is persecuted, they trust God over all of it. That's why they have the tenacity to stand in the face of it. And we had moments. I remember the one, we were at I think it was at Lily's church. We were there, and there was a guy in the beginning, when there's kind of just like, there's like talking, especially because we're all like white and people are like asking us questions, and we're having tea, and there was a guy in the room that was like kind of in the corner, staying away, and I was just like, something about this guy I was like, my skepticals were on. I was like, something's going on with that dude. And he just kind of abruptly left in part of the play, as we were getting actually started. Halfway through, maybe 3/4 through, as we were praying and like doing some teaching, there's knocks on the door, and we're like, Lily, is anyone else coming? And she was like, nope. And I was like, so I just had this moment, and it felt like everything froze. It was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, this might be it.
You thought you were going to China jail?
I thought that they were coming in, and I was going to have the actual decision of, do you deny it? Because you will. It's like that moment comes, and everyone I believe everyone that's a Christian in the Western world and in general would say, if that day comes, I wouldn't deny.
Mm-hmm.
It is different
Yeah.
when you're in that place of just having that. And luckily, it wasn't. And it was just some random person that came. We were like, okay.
Thank God.
But I had a moment because I went to this place, like everything froze. And I went, no, I won't deny. I'll die.
Wow.
And it was cool because after that, we got to travel all over China, teaching in underground churches everywhere. And we ended up like getting some money wired to us. I forget how it worked, but Eddie ended up paying for Lily, and she just like traveled with us.
Wow.
And like got us into all these different underground churches, and it was wild.
That's amazing.
Wild. We ended up meeting this other guy. His story is friggin' nuts. So this is one of those times that you have moments where you sit with somebody and you're like, man, I kind of feel like I'm at the feet of Paul.
What do you mean by that?
So he had this, he's an older man, probably in his 70s. And I was like 20 something at this time. So that was really old. Had like, Mr. Miyagi vibes to him. And so we were all like in this room, and he like was sitting on this chair, and we were literally sitting on the floor. And he started like just talking about his story. And so when he was like 20 years old, he had a car. That was really rare. Like he just like and so he would do jobs where like people would tell him to deliver stuff or whatever. So he gets this job to drive, I think it was like to like Vietnam or something, like something across the border, and still not like a safe country, but like it was safer. And he like went and picked up this box, and he's like got told to go pick up this thing and bring it back. We'll pay you. So he goes and he like picks it up, and he's like coming back, and like his first stop, he's like, what is in this thing? It's a box of Bibles. So he ends up on the long trip across China. China's huge. It's like way back in the day, the cars aren't going very fast. So he's like, he literally reads the entire Bible. And then he reads it again and again and again and again and again. And he memorizes it.
No.
Memorizes
How long was he driving for?
I don't know. But I don't think he memorized it all in that drive.
Right. Probably kept one for himself.
Yeah. But on through him just reading the Bible from the time he picked him up to like going through it and getting back, he became a Christian and became a part of the underground church. And
incredible.
So he was spreading the gospel in China for years. And then when North Korea went crazy, he ended up being a missionary from China into North Korea. This man was in a communist country doing mission work to another communist country. Like just the level of crazy that is. So he had like basically like the North Korean government wanted to kill him. So they were like, they literally had a death like bounty for his head.
Wow.
And he spent 20 years in Chinese prison.
Whoa.
Wow.
For being a Christian.
That is like sitting at the feet of Paul.
Yep. I just remember being like, just so humbled and honored that I got to meet a man like that.
Yeah.
Because who knows what happened after. But like he was like actively in hiding from the North Korean government.
Wow.
In China. Because they will come across and get you. Wild times.
I wonder if he preached while he was in prison.
Oh,
I'm sure he would have
100%.
with someone of
100%.
faith like that.
Well, one of his things was that he was in prison for 20 years because every year or so or months they'd be like, just deny it and we'll let you out.
Wow.
He said, I will never deny it. And he just kept on going.
It's just like when you pick up the Bible, and obviously this man wasn't a Christian to begin with. It's just like, this is the living Word of God. Like it's not just like a dead book. This is the living Word of God, and like, just pick it up and read it, and you will be changed.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, China happened, and I came home.
I have questions about your missions.
Do it. Let's do that before I keep going.
Yeah.
I have a long story.
What when we talk about like everybody being part of the body, and everyone has different spiritual gifts given by the Holy Spirit. Like in your missions, was everybody able to do everything, or can you see that like the Holy Spirit gave this person the gift to heal, and this person the gift to preach, this person the gift to evangelize? Like, what did that look like in your group? Or is there times when you're like, I've never, like you say, you've spoken to in tongues, but like, has that happened again? Or were there people that were healing that have never healed before?
Yeah, the gifts are free. It's like it's a free gift. People naturally have places where they're more like naturally gifted. Like God has put that on us. That's kind of like the fivefold kind of ministry. Those types of things. Like the fruit of the Spirit, it's not the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
It's the fruit. So we have full access to that. We have to develop it. Some things will come easier than others, just like every other thing in the world. Like,
and God can give when he sees fit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know, if it's like the same thing as like, if we go to the gym, I'm going to lift more than 90% of the world. Like, I'm strong, but not fast. It's like, someone's going to run faster than me. So it's kind of the same thing. Like, you're going to have things that come more naturally to you, even with the fruit of the Spirit. But I think it's like our right as children to want it. It's our right as children, as co-heirs to the kingdom. Mm-hmm. We have to understand there's a big thing with identity here. I think most people still don't grasp their identity as children. Most people still have a place in their mind that is keeping them from understanding that God literally sees you as Jesus. He literally, you are his daughter. Mm-hmm. That's it. And when Jesus ascended, he said, you are now co-heirs with us. We are literally co-heirs to the kingdom. We have the key. We just need to unlock it. And now the king can still keep it locked for a bit until we're ready, because somebody that isn't developed enough, that you can hurt some people with prophecy. Mm-hmm. Like, people have been hurt from people who are just maybe not developed enough in their hearing God or empathy. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden they say some stuff that's like, wow, that was probably bad timing. It's not even that it wasn't real. It's just that you need, like, there's tact to it as well. Yeah. Right? It's different than the Old Testament prophets. Right. It's different. The new covenant made things different. Prophecy is meant to encourage the body, not bring condemnation. And so that's why it's like all of a sudden you get this gift, you see things, and you can hurt people in that. So I think that, when it comes to my missions and operating that, definitely things came easier for certain people, and you kind of fit into those places. That's why the fivefold ministry is there. That's why people, out of like the fivefold type of ministry, the things that I naturally lean into the most are apostolic, which is kind of leading. You're guiding and correcting.
Okay.
So part of that is I love theology. I love digging into it. Like, it's fascinating to me. And I love the doctrine and trying to stay true to it. But if you're only in that place, you become a dick. Because you don't care what someone's feelings are. It's like, I don't care if this hurt you. You're out to lunch. You're doing this, this, and this, or you're promoting abortion, whatever. It's like, yes, there's the correction that needs to happen, but without love, you're a dick. All of it has to be love. And then so it's like apostolic and teaching. Those are my, like, I love teaching. I love digging into it. I love questions. And there's no part of what I love about it is like, questions is just actually the walk of theology. That's all it is asking questions. I don't understand this. Make me understand it, God. How do I learn about it? Who do I need to ask? With the church I grew up in, it was like, don't ask questions. It was like, here's what we teach you. Don't ask outside of that. Like, don't do that. And I was like, well, that's not going to work really well for my brain because I have a question and this doesn't make sense.
And how do you grow if you're not asking questions?
Yeah. And like, God's not afraid of the question.
Yeah.
He's just really not afraid of it.
Yeah. Oh, I love telling people that too. Just like, you have these like doubts. God's not intimidated by your doubts.
No.
Like, share them with him.
Yeah.
Share,
not at all.
Yeah.
Like 0% afraid of your past. He's not afraid of the fact that you don't even believe in him right now. He's not afraid of it. He's not worried about it. Yeah. He just loves you. And then like the part of like the word pastor that I'm like, just really, it's a weird thing, but like that pastoral heart is not necessarily as high on the list for me. But all of these things are important, and I think we need to actually develop in all of them. So it's like, understand your strength zones and develop yourself. Like, we're supposed to mature in our walk. When you were children, you just believed it like this, and don't hinder that. That's a beautiful thing. And as you grow, you need to mature in your understanding and your growth. You need to. It's part of the Christian walk. Because then when things come up, you understand it with a depth. And you can answer questions. And you can walk with people. And it's not about knowing everything even. It's just about like being willing and able to like walk it out. So yeah, we definitely all had our strengths. It's interesting in China too, because it was like, there is like our leader that we went with was a female. Is a female.
You never know these
world's
days.
crazy. She's a female and amazing woman. But I'm a man. We're in China. There's a difference there. And there was a lot of places that they wouldn't even talk to her. And I was weird about it because I'm like, oh, she's the one that... And she had, like, she was amazing. She had, like, no pride. She's like, you just do it. It's going to be easier. And then on top of that, because there was even other men that were with us, but weird thing is that I'm the year of the tiger. And that matters.
To them.
Oh, yeah. They ask you your birth date.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the first things you'll get asked.
Interesting.
When were you born? What's your birth date?
Pretty sure I'm a monkey.
And
I have no idea what I am.
yeah, like depending on what you are, it's like, oh, you're a rat. Yeah,
That's probably what I am.
And so it's like, one, I'm a man. I'm towering over everyone, so there's already like a stature thing,
Right.
and I'm a tiger. Whatever that means. For some reason that matters.
Winning.
Just winning. Yeah. So yeah, it was. But we definitely all had different things that we operated in, and I think that's. It's part of it is part of like growing yourself in like your giftings is also just like actually understanding who you are. Mm-hmm. Like taking a minute and actually taking some like strength finder tests. Mm-hmm. Even like if they're not like if they're secular, like whatever. Just like actually start understanding how you think. Mm-hmm. Because that will actually point you in certain directions and go, oh, that's why I don't connect with people, because it's like that's actually I have to work pretty hard to do that. Mm-hmm. And so whereas my wife is like I would say she's very naturally gifted for evangelism, because she literally will just make friends. Like I said, she just anyone that meets my wife loves her. Mm-hmm. Like you'd probably have to try it not love her. Like where I scare people. People are like, that guy's huge, he's got a lot of tattoos, big beard, and he is not afraid to tell me that I'm wrong. Okay. Like that's scary. Awesome, so yeah, it's like a bit of ebb and flow. You need to know. And that's why we're never called to solo. Mm-hmm. One of the hindrances coming out of COVID, it's like it was awesome to see live streams and things happening where people could like still partake when the world went nuts. Mm-hmm. But one of the hindrances is that there's still a lot of people who are not engaged in community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's not biblical.
Yeah, we got comfortable streaming from home.
Yeah,
we got comfortable sleeping in and making brunch and
half paying attention.
And we talked about this before, just of the importance of having habits. Mm-hmm. And the problem with COVID too is it got so many people out of the habit of waking up on Sunday morning and going to church and just getting involved and worshiping it with a group of other Christians.
Yeah. It's such a key part.
Yeah.
To this thing called Christianity. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've had several conversations with people of like, well, I just don't get fed there.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
What? Who said that that's where you need to get fed?
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be digging into your relationship with God. You should be reading the Bible. True. You should be digging in. We live in a place where we have all the resources in the world. I can listen to every single one of my favorite speakers like in a row on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like boom, boom, boom. I can just listen to everybody or whatever. But it's like, so we live in this like, the excuse of not getting fed somewhere is kind of stupid. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's one thing if like you just really aren't connecting with community, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to find that. Mm-hmm. Please do. Like you need community.
Yeah.
But to try to be like, well, I just do it myself. And out of that, I will say this is actually me. I had to speak to myself in this a lot. Mm-hmm. This isn't coming out of like a self-righteous place. Mm-hmm. Because when I came back from China, I hated the church. Mm.
You're like, I'm not seeing enough faith. I'm not seeing enough
I hated
evangelism.
The Western church.
Like
real surface level.
Yeah. Everything was fake to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything was fake. And it was weird. The first little bit, I was like, I remember the first church I went to coming back, and it was like, I kept on like looking over my shoulders because there's loud music and lights and craziness. And I'm like, what the is going on? Mm-hmm. We're going to go to, I'm in Canada. Mm-hmm. Like literally had to go through that. And then it would just felt so fake. Because you go from this being surrounded, and then it totally engulfed with people who are like, they'll literally die that day for their faith. Mm-hmm. To being like, oh, so you didn't like that, he read from the NIV instead of the NLT or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
There's so many of these little things. And so I actually got fairly bitter at the church, and really the enemy pushed that on me, and I submitted to it. You got to watch what you submit to, because even after all these powerful things and powerful experiences, I submitted to a lot of things that it derailed me for a while, and it really did. It's not like I ever lost my faith or anything like that, but I was so disenfranchised with the church that when I was done with YWAM, that's when I moved to Edmonton. And there's some other life stuff that happened in there that really shook. I wouldn't say that like broke my foundation, but it really shook the tree. Some stuff in our family and some stuff like that. And it really like affected me. And more than I let people into, because I've always just been the strength in our family, between my brothers and a lot of that. I've always been the one that I'm like, just no one has to worry about me. Ever. My cousins, like, there's lots of stuff going on there. Or there's been seasons of a lot of stuff going on there. And so I've always just handled it, didn't let people in. And so there's a bunch of stuff that happened and really shook some of my foundations, and I wasn't tied into a church. And so I didn't have anybody to go to, and I ended up kind of taking on a place of like surrounding myself with like non-Christians again. And then I started working in the bar because I was a big guy, and they were like, "You are a bouncer." I was like, "That's really easy money."
Yeah.
Right? And there's a battle. I can fight and protect people. And that opened up some old doors, old habits. And there was a handful of years there for sure where I was not operating out of my design again. There was a few years there where, especially, it's just funny how the devil works on you. I say the devil's one being. When I say that, I don't actually mean it's the devil, because it's probably not, but it's like the principalities and spirits and the enemy. But there's like some past habits, hurts that I hadn't healed. I thought I healed, but I didn't fully heal. And I stopped engaging in the church, stopped operating in my purpose, I was actually bitter at the church. Then this, life stuff happened, and then that kind of got me to question God. Not question if he's real, but question him and his design and his purpose for me. And that ended up opening up doors to, going to the bar, which again, it wasn't really ever bad in the sense of like the work part of it. But then you're surrounded by half naked women and liquor, and you can stay strong for a while, but not forever. That's why it's you change your community and hang around Christians. It's an important part of it. It's actually in the Bible. It's like we're that's who your main community is. We're supposed to be a light to the world, but be a family and a unit. And I was the opposite. And so I went down like a handful of years for sure where I was I was fully just like operating in a place of like I'd say my everyone has like their tendencies of like where sin will get you. My tendency is womanizing. Like, that's just be honest. That's like, that would be, I really love women. Now I love one woman. they're fascinating creatures. They're designed to be fascinating creatures to men. And yeah, I just kind of, so I just went off the rails for a little bit. And I remember as I started coming out of that season, I struggled with it, coming out of it for a bit of like, and part of the lie that was being, pushed on me is that I truly thought I would never meet my wife. I thought I forfeited that because of my actions. And I thought that I wasn't worthy of it. And then I kind of was like, okay, well, maybe it's just not God's design. Maybe I'm just supposed to be single. And I was willing. It was that was kind of the least part of it. At the end of that journey, when I was like, I need to get back to who I am, because this is not it. And so I kind of crawled back out of it, started like re-engaging with God and the Word, and then that's my wife. Kind of came out of nowhere.
I love the story of just, I think it's just so relatable too. Like, I don't know, just like, I feel like I'm coming out of a similar season in terms of just like stepping away from like God's design, but how much grace that God has had, and to see what it's done in your life now and where you are and where you're serving and having this men's ministry. Because I think going through something like the China and the ministries and the missions that you were going on, I think it's easy to just assume like, now you have such a strong faith and that's that, and you just go. But like, we can still fall, and we still have to be so careful and aware of how the enemy can still attack, how we can still fall. But with God's grace, we can still get back up from those moments too. So.
Yeah. It's such a good reminder that like your walk with Jesus, it's a relationship, and sometimes you're like really, really close, and sometimes you have some distance, and it's a walk with Christ. Like, it's not a perfect straight line all the time. Like, you have seasons of peaks and valleys, and we all, I think, like stray a little bit, and then we're corrected. And he pursues us, and we, hopefully most of us, hopefully all of us, come back to Jesus. And even having experienced what you did with like just seeing the spiritual battles and the strength of faith to stray and then to come back. Like, it happens to everybody. So it's just so encouraging to hear your story, and that you're back to where you are, leading a ministry, you're in the church, leading your family.
It's a funny thing, because it kind of goes back to that thing of James. Peter talks about it too, but it's like, you actually need the fall. Sometimes you need it, and God allows it to happen. There's that false theology. Like I said, I think it really ties back to that prosperity gospel. But there's this false theology that, like, if you become a Christian, it's all going to be good. And you're going to live your best life.
It's just going to be smooth.
Well, all the disciples died.
Yeah.
And some of them were, like, gruesome.
And are you really following if you're not being attacked and persecuted in some way? Like, Jesus says, like, when you're persecuted, like, when they hate you, remember that the world hated me first. Not if.
Yeah. And it's like, we need to go through times. We're going to go through times that are hard. We're going to go through times where we stumble and fall. Maybe hard. And God allows this to happen. We're still His children. He loves us. And He'll allow you to fall. It's like when, like, my daughter is learning how to walk and climb, and she's actually more of a climber than anything right now. But we let her fall. Now we're there, and we help her, and do all that stuff. I'm not like pushing her over. But I allow her to go through that because she needs to learn it. If you catch them every time, they'll never learn how to actually stabilize. Mm-hmm. And then it's a crutch. And so part of the thing that God allowed me to learn through me falling was that I had to conquer the things that were there. I had to actually push through them. Because if I didn't, then it would always be a crutch. It'd always be there. It'd always be lingering. And so he allowed me to fall to really show me how easy it is. And that gives you empathy for when people fall. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another big place that the church needs to really figure out more is like, we need to really care for people when they fall. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, if like you're in ministry and you get caught with a porn addiction or something, you probably should take a step back. Mm-hmm. Or if you're married and your marriage is falling apart, you probably just shouldn't be a pastor. Maybe for a while. Mm-hmm. Maybe forever. Like, actually. Like, the call to being a pastor is that your family's together. And you have it figured out. So if your family's falling apart, you're actually called to your family before the call to the church. I've seen that so many times where all of a sudden you see these pastoral families and either their kids just become a train wreck or their marriages end.
Those PKs, hey?
Yeah. It's like, I talk about it often. I wish in my dad's journey from service, in, like, yes, his profession and his journey with the government in that as well, but I wish he would have had the insight to go, I'll actually give it all up to get my kids right. Mm-hmm. I'll give up this pastor thing. This is not more important than me discipling my children. Discipling my children is more important. That those are the people that have my image. Mm-hmm. I look back at my life and I look at the timeline of it now, and I go, "Oh, there you were. Oh, I was in this valley. Oh, you were right beside me the whole time. You never left me."
Yeah.
And that's like the big thing is like you go through these ups and downs and these ebbs and flows, and maybe you're on fire here and you're kind of lukewarm here. Mm-hmm. But God doesn't change. We change, but God doesn't change. He's always there. He said he'd be there. Definitely. And so we can, when you look further back and you see these things, it's like that was those hard seasons were actually what I needed to go through to be who I am now. Mm-hmm. God allowed things to happen in my life. He didn't do it to me, but he allowed me to go through things to strengthen me for now, for this season, to strengthen me for this podcast, to give me the ability to like not be shameful because I stumbled or I backslid a little bit here and there or whatever. I'm just not shameful. It's just, that's the story. And the power of our testimony is so much more than we can think. That's why I love this idea.
We do too.
Because people can relate to that.
Yeah.
It's actually your story that is the gospel.
Yeah. Because you see God working. Like, you can share the gospel and the story of Jesus and what he did and pick up the Bible and read it. But to hear people's stories and to hear how God has worked through just the average Joe, how he's worked through you and me and Kaylee, like, that's relatable. That's something that they can witness and understand. And it's okay. You're talking about your ministry, and I'm curious, what do you want to share about your ministry? But also, what do you want to, like, is there anything on your heart that you would want to say to people who are tuning in that like are struggling with their faith or are just like haven't taken that step to follow Jesus? Is there anything that you...
Right.
Yeah.
To take that step.
What would you say to them?
Yeah, so if you don't believe in Jesus, give him a try. Like, how many things have you given a try to? It's like sometimes you just need to get to a place where it's like, well, I've tried everything else and it hasn't worked. I've tried what the world said. I've tried Buddhism. I've tried everything else, but you haven't tried Jesus. So give him a try. Test him. It's okay.
Just like you did.
Yep.
God, if you're real, I give you one week and the next day.
Yeah. Like, put it out there. If you take one step, he'll take 1,000. Also, just know that, like, if you're in this place of like, well, I'm kind of curious, but I don't know. It feels weird asking questions. Like, ask the questions. Find someone where it's like safe to ask the questions. Yeah. Like, if you're in Edmonton, there's lots of places that you can go to just ask the questions, and it's safe. Yeah. And you can disagree. Like, God isn't afraid of it, and I'm not afraid of it. Like, it's the most real thing ever. I love those conversations of like, yeah, I just don't think I believe in Jesus. Cool. I'm not offended by it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not here to defend him. It's not my role to defend him. So, like, but I would love to have those conversations. It's actually some of the coolest times that I've had in conversations with people of like, I actually had a comment once where they're like, you're like the weirdest religious person I know. I'm like, why? And they're like, because you're never like pushing it. But like, you're always willing to talk about it. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not here to convince you of anything. It's not me saving anybody. So take the pressure off.
Yeah.
One, if you're having this feeling too of like, if maybe you're a Christian and you're like, we need to preach the gospel. It's like, take the pressure off. You're not saving anybody. Jesus already did that work. You just got to live it. Yeah. And as you live it, it becomes attractive. And we're not here to convince people. There's people that they're going to deny him. That's sad. But it's not your fault. It's not up to you. Jesus is working on them. So take that like pressure of like, I need to do it off, and just live in a place that says, Lord, put me in positions where I get to live out the gospel. Yeah. Put me in that position.
That's good.
Because then again, it's just like, you're not in this place of like trying to make a conversation happen. You're just saying, Lord, I'm open. Anywhere, anytime, I'm open. And yeah, so if you don't believe, but you're curious, if you've made it this far through this podcast, you're probably curious. If you're curious, just lean in, ask the question, listen to some podcasts, find some people that you like can lean into, and just go on that journey, because it is worth it. And he is loving, and he paid everything for you. The Father gave his Son to give you freedom. And the Son, he became flesh and blood to feel all of it. He experienced temptation. He went through pain and suffering and rejection. He went through everything that you've ever went through, like the feelings, those emotions. He came to do that so that he can be relatable, and so that we can understand and trust that he just loves us. He loves us that much. God became flesh just for us. So that's a wild thing. And you can trust that. If you have fallen, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe you're actively in it. it's okay. God loves you. Right now. Loves you. There's nothing you can do to make him love you more or less. Nothing. He paid that cost once, and he loves you the whole way. It's hard for us to understand because we can love differently.
Yep.
He can't. He loves you all the way. 100%.
He's all in all the time.
That's it. And he's right there with you. And all it takes is a step. And if you want to get back to living in his design, lean in. And then find the community. Actually change your life. That's the work of it. Salvation is free. Discipleship costs everything.
I feel like we just had a church session.
Yeah.
That tends to happen.
I love that.
Me too.
John, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We just loved, I loved having you on here. It was
course.
just it's just such a pleasure to hear your story. I know I've heard little bits and pieces of it, but just to hear it again, I just feel like it's already impacted my life. I just know it's going to impact so many other people's.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Let me pray.
Okay.
Father God, we are so honored by who you are, and that you are a living, breathing God who is with us every step of the way. You're not distant. You're not far. We don't have to earn it. You just love us. Lord, I pray for everyone who hears this, that you would speak to them, that it's not me speaking, that it's you speaking, Lord. It's not us. It's not our words. Lord, I pray that you bless this ministry of allowing a place to hear your miracles through people, and that you would speak to people through it, that you would give wisdom and guidance to these two ladies, and that they would steward it well, but that it would be light, that it would not be a heavy burden, but it would be light, because it's just people's stories. And God, I would pray that you just open up doors where they need to be opened up, whether it be technology or anything like that, and that you just keep on blessing those who want to hear from you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank
you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
What a delight.
That's a wrap.